the Batman Batmobile. So the Robert Pattinson 2022 one. If Hot Toys does produce one, does that impact you at all? I know you said you don't really want to compete 1-to-1 anymore, but I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit for people.
Yeah, well, it's impossible to predict the future, but I really don't see that happening. So first of all, we've seen with the 1989, it only leads to more orders from us. And we've already got more than enough orders to make this work. So even if we get cancellations, we can still make this work. Plus, our edition size will be determined Tuesday. So it's good that you bring it up, because there's a couple of products are going to be closing for pre-orders, including the 2022 this Tuesday. After that, we put the waitlist button in there, and if our other projects are anything to go by, that waitlist is going to be so full that even if Hot Toys comes with their version and we get cancellations that haven't been delivered yet, because that's another thing, right? We start delivery next quarter of this, so there's going to be a lot of products that are even in customer hands by then, so that can't be canceled anymore. So realistically, with the wait list and the pre-orders closing this Tuesday, and I'm not making any extras anymore because I don't want to have that kind of risk, the wait list is going to cover me, and this is going to be so much more limited edition anyway. So I don't foresee any problem. Plus, I would be surprised if they do one. I mean, they've shown a render from the rear in February. That's a year ago.
Yeah.
And then nothing more, no teases, but also nothing at any of the shows, nothing from their Shanghai store, brand store opening. So I would be very surprised. I don't even think they have haven't gotten to the prototyping phase yet. I mean, with the 1966 and their BVS and Justice League Batmobiles, they at least had something physical to show. And the Falcon cockpit, and their Vulture, those are all in the prototyping stages, right?
Right. Yeah.
And for this one, we haven't seen anything other than that render from the rear. So I don't see I would say the chances of Hot Toys releasing one now is, I would say, much less than 50%. And if they do, I'm fine either way.
Yeah, right.
So.
That's super interesting, though, that you said that basically because of the Hot Toys, your actually numbers went up for the 89 Batmobile.
Yeah. I
think that's probably, Joseph, I'm like speculating a little bit, probably because so many people, like in YouTube land, like myself, talked about the comparisons, and we showcased sort of the differences and what you had mentioned, and we used that, and we showcased, and I think that was like free marketing for your product, because it was comparing you to Hot Toys and showing that yours has some accuracy, superiority, and people were like, you know what, I love 89 Batman, I'm willing to pay twice as much for something that's a little more accurate. So I think that's probably what happened, honestly. Yeah. So thank you for that. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, so well, it's your great product. It markets itself ultimately, but But I mean, at the end of the day, it's, I think people in groups too, like you said, the sideshow groups and Facebook groups and all over, are talking about JazzInc versus Hot Toys, and it became like this whole kind of thing. So I know, like you said, you don't always want to compete 1-to-1, but when your product's a little bit better, it helps you a little bit. So
yeah, but it's definitely going to be different. There's going to be, for the people who care about the details and the accuracy, and we've got a bunch of consultants on this right now that are maniacs for this particular vehicle and this version.
Yeah.
And the way we work, and so if you like that, if you're not yet, become a member of the Facebook group. You see a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and if I have a model that I'm happy with, I show that, and then we incorporate all the feedback and make changes according to that, which is why so this was another thing that was such an honor, but there was a couple of people, including the proprietor of 1966Batmobile.com. For the 1966, there were like 4 experts, including somebody who makes them in a 1-to-1 scale for $250,000. And they were like, dude, we've seen a lot of model scale vehicles of the 1966. None are even close to being as accurate to the real number one as the one that the JazzInc did. And that's great, but you see the model working, the way we set up our organization with all the community feedback, because it's impossible for me to see and know all these little details, right?
Right.
And it goes for all vehicles. And so we've gotten a bunch of feedback on all of them, and that makes it so much more accurate, basically, and that's what you're paying for. And of course, the extremely limited edition is it.